Hello, welcome to today's live attorney chat. My name is attorney Desiree Koger-Gustafson with Immigration for Couples. For those of you who are new to our firm, we host these Facebook live chats to give you updated information about the navigating the immigration process from a couple's perspective mostly. And we just work to help couples navigate that process on a daily basis, and that's exactly what this firm is dedicated to doing. Today, we are going to be discussing larger topics, so I hope you grabbed that second cup of coffee. I know I did. We are going to look at the adjustment of status process, specifically looking for the fiancé visa, K-1, to adjustment of status. What do I do next? I've entered the United States. What do I do next? Then after that, we're going to look into the affidavit of support a little bit more. That is part of that adjustment process. And so we'll be looking at that and what if I don't make enough? So just know that if you're joining us live today, please feel free to put questions and comments in the chat. I'll try to get to those as I can. And then if for some reason it's a larger topic, hopefully we can hit on that later on in one of our other chats. So let's dive right into the adjustment of status process. So let's discuss the affidavit of support more in depth and what if I don't make enough. So a common RFE that we get with the affidavit is the affidavit of support and just not satisfying all of those requirements. So let's say USCIS has received the documents for one reason or another. They are stating that the affidavit of the petitioner does not make enough money. So then you have basically two options. You could submit for a joint or co-sponsor, or you could just supply assets. And whether or not you do one or the other could be dependent on where you are in that process. If you've not yet received an RFE, but you have just looked at the 864P, which is the document put out every year by USCIS that says the levels, has listed the levels of poverty guidelines that you would need to meet. If we've looked at that and we decide, okay, you are very borderline on income, and I will say this happens quite a bit. A lot of our couples could be young or early in their careers, and maybe the one is still in school, and so they're just really close on meeting that poverty guideline. And if that's the case, then maybe we look to assets. We look to see what they have in order to be able to supply or support with assets, the income that is being made by the petitioner. I will say, even if the petitioner makes zero money, the petitioner is required to file an affidavit of support. If the petitioner makes some money, but then maybe just doesn't have enough in assets, then we would look to filing for a joint sponsor. If for some reason we've supplied assets and the assets seem to be way above what we would need, they could still issue an RFE for that, and we have seen that on occasions. And so you would then, where you are in that process, if you've been issued an RFE, you want to make sure that whatever you respond to the RFE completes the process. So I wouldn't likely supply assets if I've received an RFE. I would encourage a co-sponsor in order to be able to fully satisfy whatever the USCIS officer or adjudicator is going to look at to make sure that we've met that income guidelines. So who would make a good joint sponsor? And in that regard, we've seen a lot of different things and a lot of things to consider. So first of all, the person would have to be willing to supply everything that that petitioner has supplied. So last 3 years of taxes, their W-2 income verification. Sometimes most of the time we like to submit an employer letter if that's available, as well as pay stubs for the last 3 months is a good general guideline. So you'd want somebody that's willing to do that. A lot of people don't want to supply their social security number, and unfortunately that is required. And so you want to make sure that they are willing to have to give over their information. Another thing is making sure a lot of people will go directly to a business owner, somebody who has significant assets. And business owners can be great co-sponsors or joint sponsors. However, a lot of times to be able to show earnings is more difficult. And so then you're straight away into looking at assets of the business, which many times business owners are reluctant to do. So again, just finding a person who maybe only has 1 or 2 people in their household and but yet has a good stable income, has been at a regular job for a while, can provide us with pay stubs that support what their earnings say. So if they have a last tax return that says they make $80,000 a year, you'd want to look at the pay stubs and make sure that the pay stubs support that. If for some reason that co-sponsor or joint sponsor has 2 working people in their household, but only one of them want to sign, but they file taxes jointly, we'd want to make sure that we have W-2s and other things that clearly clarify what portion of that earnings was theirs, the person that is signing, the joint sponsor that is signing. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you go back and watch this video, you can comment #replay. Also know that we're going to have another live attorney chat on Monday, so be watching for that. And feel free to put any comments into the chat, even following, and we will hopefully look back at those and get you an answer or do another live broadcast on this. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day.